Ladies and gentlemen, it was not clickbait. It was simply not clickbait. I drafted the greatest team of all time. And even more amazingly, it's an Ubers team. I know. Now, I don't play Ubers. I don't like Ubers. I don't even enjoy Ubers. Dare I say, the one time I played Ubers, it was unenjoyable experience. However, it's different this time because this time I'm in ADL, the Apocalypse Draft League. I would put the invite link in the description, but it's like privated, and I don't think they want it out for everybody, so it's not going there. I'm gonna pretend you need special invitation to join. Now, this is part of the team tour that the Moogie team quite easily made it to semifinals with the power of Moogie. Uh, and unfortunately, we did lose there because why? Well, mainly because I choked. Uh, basically I was really quite bad. Now, that doesn't matter anymore because through that performance, we ended up applying for the Uber's draft, which is their main tier. Actually, I didn't know that until until I applied. Like after I applied, it was Uber's, and I was like, all right, well, whatever. You know, the community's good enough that I'm like, I'll play Uber's. I'll figure it out. And so I played Ubers before, and everyone was like, dude, it's like this the same thing except just pick better mons, right? Like you got all the broken guys. And I was like, all right, it's can't be that hard. Like it's just it's the same thing. And so I signed up quite nervous, because I like never have played anyone in this tier before except like Polo, um, and then it was just like didn't matter because it was like a meme game. So it was like kind of it's like I don't really know anybody, right? Some of them even played in the PGP. I did quite well. Meanwhile, I did quite average in the PGP. So it was like, all right, well, I kind of get where I am then. So first round goes where we get the announcement for like who's in what division, and I get in the top division, which is the Ascent division, which I'm quite happy with, simply because I think it has the coolest name. There's Ascent, Precipice, and Origin, and Ascent is the best sounding one in my opinion, and it has the coolest logo. In fact, I wonder if I can pull up the logo right here. Um, I don't know who made. Okay, you see this like this thing? This is the Ascent logo. It's quite sick. And so like, the other ones are sick too. Don't get me wrong. Like this is the Precipice one. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, you can see it. That's the Precipice one, and this is the Origin one. But Ascent is the coolest one. And so I was quite happy with that. And all the friends. I mean, actually, that's not true. A lot of them got separated. I think Vex is the only like. It was quite sad because the movie team couldn't be all together. But that's how it is. And so the announcers come out, and it turns out classic vanilla fashion. I've never been in the top 10 picks. I'm pick 17. 17 million basically. I'm like right before the end of wheel pick, which is like cool because then all the broken guys can go, and I can't get blamed for like picking something bad because it's like, oh, dang, X broken guy was already gone, so you like that sucks for you, and it's like, oh yeah, I was totally gonna pick him, when I just don't know what I'm doing. So I choke with my first pick kind of, but I'm happy with it still, because apparently like the RCS forms got like way more broken this gen. I guess they were always broken, but they got way better. And I didn't pick an Arceus for him because I was just like, I don't know what I'm doing, and I don't really like Arceus. He's kind of ugly. So first pick overall, I'm not even gonna lie to you. I'm gonna hold you. I picked this guy because I've used him once before, not in Uber's draft league, just like on the ladder, and because I can have a name for her, and that is gonna be our first pick, Magearna. I like Magearna a lot, and her name's gonna be. You're gonna guess what? Like, look at that. That's almost flawless. Like, if we take a look at, um, if we take a look, they're practically the same. Look at this. You can just kind of like you can't see their resemblance, people. All I'm saying. So that's gonna be the first pick. I don't know if Terrasilize is banned. Why don't we go ahead and take a look at that? Oh no. Oh my gosh, I'm so bad. I actually didn't read the. I read the rules for the points because I didn't want to get that wrong. But like the rest of the rules, I like wasn't reading. Um, I don't see anywhere. Oh, battle rules. Let's see here. No shed tail. Yes, praise God, bro. Um, I don't see a no terrestrialize rule, which is not what I thought I saw because Yeah, I don't see a no terrestrialize type of rule, which is quite insanely good. Because I like terrestrialize actually. It's like I can't tell if it's broken on the ladder yet. I've gotten like 1600, like kind of not really like trying to like care about terrestrialize. Okay, yeah, but I don't see a rule. So, this mod is like super strong always with terrestrialize. It has like every set in the world. Soul Heart is like a really good ability. This speed is bad, but once you're at +2, you're faster than everything on the field with shift gear. You can kind of run whatever set you want with it. Like it has great utility, and all the moves like are back. Like they're not cutting the moves out. If it gets it, it like can be used, which is pretty sick. So like Scald is like not gone. Um, and we got access to like Ice Spinner, which is cool. I don't think we had a physical ice move before, which is like not too big of a deal. But if you wanted to run some sort of weird set with it, you could. Great utility, great typing. Even if with Terrastalize, it can be even better, I think, because you just like you can add you can get the extra stab adaptability stuff or whatever on your Soul Heart, like Heart Beam or whatever, a Floor Cannon. And Floor Cannon's super strong. Like if you like coming off of 130, and you're always gonna be like probably not running Timid. You might be just running Modest. If you're Fairy Terrastalized, you're already like a really good typing, um, and you lose the ground weakness and stuff, and so it's like I mean you lose the poison immunity on it obviously, but like this is almost 400 base power, and then Soul Heart or Floor Cannon, Specs Terrastalized Fairy is pretty much blowing up like a lot of guys. Like you'd need to have a steal, like a very strong steal. So I'm happy with this. It gets spikes, it gets set up, Iron Defense, Calm Mind, Stored Power, all that good stuff. A Volt Switch, so it gives me a nice momentum. Hazard, Setup, Sweeper, Specs, Breaker. It does kind of like whatever I want, really. It's very strong. And so I was quite happy with this first pick. Next pick coming up, very simple, sticking to the basics. I got the Steel, I got the Fairy. I kind of need a good dragon because I can see the dragons getting picked. Like Dialga went like round 0. Like Dialga and Palkia and Zekrom, like all the dragons started going like right away. And so I was like, I don't really know. Like Mariadon, I like have never seen this name in my. I like still don't know what it is. Let's find out together. Let's find out. Oh, maybe they spelled it wrong. This okay. It's like see, like it's like Cyclizar, but cool. You know what I'm saying? So I have no idea what this does, but I'm pretty sure it's a dragon type. It looks like a dragon type. So, all the dragons are going, and I was like, all right, what kind of pair is good with this guy? And I consulted my good friend Orden Latios, and I kind of told him what I was gonna do. I was thinking Mega Mence, but I like wasn't vibing with Mega Mence. I don't know why. I think it was too expensive. I think if I got Mugi, I couldn't get Mega Mence. So it was like, man. But like luckily, like I'm close to the wheel, so I was pretty much guaranteed a pair unless I got sniped really bad, and I didn't get sniped really bad. Um, you know what's interesting? He picked the guy after me picked Mega Mewtwo Y Torn T, which is quite insane of a pairing. I feel like it's hard to have a bad team in Ubers. Like if you draft a legitimately bad team in Ubers, maybe it's like maybe the team isn't the problem. Like if I drafted a really bad team, I'd probably just quit because Ubers is like I feel like it's hard to mess up because there's so many good guys. Like I could have picked Iron Valley on top of Coco and like swept everybody, which no one did. No one picked like a Photosynthesis team or a booster team or whatever. Holy schmoly, it's almost 10 minutes and I've just been talking. Full analysis and breakdown. And so I'm looking and I'm like, all right, I'm weak to ground. It's pretty much I'm weak to fairy or I'm weak to fire. Like I'm pretty much like weak to basic stuff. And so I look at the stuff and I end up picking Mega Latias, which I have used before I drafted. It's very strong. So they're both a little bit more specially oriented, but 100 base attack is nothing to laugh at. You gotta really what? Maybe I don't have moves at all, folks. What is this? I was gonna talk about how the great. Okay, I got a great move pool. It can do the same thing, a very similar thing that Mugi does on the special the defensive side. Like you can Calm Mind up. Magico is really fire. You have Reflect type, which is cool. Which is like interesting. I wonder how Reflect type will work with tech if you're running like some sort of um, Terrestrialize. Like that's a very curious interaction. D-Dance, Dragapulse, a very good. Like most people know what this guy does already. Has recovery and roost. It gives me that ground immunity that I needed. Gives me like a true fighting resist. Gives me a ground resist. Gives me a fire resist. This has the ice resist for Latias. So like these two pair pretty well together. I think they're both very bulky, very strong. And this guy can run. Like he got sucker. I don't know if he had sucker punch, but he has it now, which is quite sick. I like that a lot. And of course, all the normal moves are back. So it's quite strong. There's Dragon Dance. You can run physical stat. Like it has defog, which is cool. So I have a defogger as well. And Latias is just very strong. It is kind of hard to beat. You kind of need to hit it with something super effective, honestly. With Terrasilize, that can be like a bit easier. Like I could Terrasilize, I don't know, fire type or something on a Moonblast or whatever, and then it's like you're kind of having a hard time, like because you can Terrasilize fire and then you're still levitate, so you're like not weak to ground, which is cool, which makes you like weak to water, which is nice. Healing Wish is good too. So yeah, I'm pretty happy with this. I don't know what to name this guy. It's a female, so I like can't name it like something like male. I was gonna name him Johnny, but then I remembered that I can't do that. So I don't know what to name this guy. We'll come back to that. Holy 11 minutes. So then half the world goes by with me like not picking because I'm like at the bottom. So like there's like a million picks I have to go through. Everything I like kind of wanted is gone. But then I have a moment of inspiration. Actually, I lied. Let me talk about the moment of inspiration after. So I'm like not sure. I'm like stuff's kind of going, and like the waters are starting to go, and so I was like, should pick a water then. And so I go ahead and take Rotom Wash, which is I think I like this pick a lot. And I sniped like 3 people, so I'm gonna assume it's good since other people wanted it. This guy got really good this gen with Terrasilize. Again, you can Terrasilize Steel and just completely eat up everything because you're levitate. Same kind of deal with Latias. It also covers Mugi's ground weakness. It kind of does the same thing Latias does, except it's a little slower and has momentum and a bit more utility to play around with defensively. And Electric Water is just a very strong typing. You're weak to like grass, right? And so I like this pick a lot. You can run it gives me a defogger. So I have 2 defoggers and 1 spike setter. So like removal is kind of nice. Um, so far, Sucker Punch is cool. Like I don't think it got too much new toys. Um, and we get all the stuff back normally. So I'm pretty happy with this. Really great and solid across the board defensively. It's pretty bulky. And it'll get in Mugi and stuff, usually off of Volt Switches. It threatens out ground types from stopping Volt Switch with Hydro Pump. And so that's what I was kind of looking for. Rotom kind of fit nice, is that it can pretty much always earn that Volt Switch momentum. Unless people do want to bring in the ground type and risk the Hydro Pump or Will-O-Wisp or something. So I like this a lot. Next thing is I'm kind of looking to fill in. Wait. Did I mention that it's a water type? I'm pretty sure I did, but obviously it's a water type. And so I'm looking to fill in a few things. I need a bit of a faster Mon for my next pick. I also don't have a Dark, which is pretty important this gen. I feel like a lot of the Ghosts are like really strong, and then Rapid Spin's really strong, which makes Ghosts even more strong. But I can't tell if that's normal metal because Golden Go is like beating everybody. But I'm gonna assume it's gonna carry over a little bit in draft at least. And so I go ahead and pick at one of the new mods. I pick Meowscarada, who shouldn't be protein banned. I didn't see anything on there, so I think protein's like legal. And because protein got nerfed and he's bad, it wasn't that expensive. So I thought it was kind of a steal. But it has protein. Works pretty good with a lot of abilities. It's my fastest one on the team at 123, which is not great, but I can work with that. At least it's not Latias 110, which is just unusable, especially in Ubers. Overgrowth can be nice too. It gives me that grass type to go with Rotom. It gives me the dark to go with Latias, which is pretty cool. This one is kind of weird with Terrasilize. I don't really know what I would like. I don't think I want to Terrasilize this guy too much, but I have a few ideas. It gives me another Spike Setter, so I have 2 Spike Setter. Oh, and it has Talking Spikes. I know that, but it has that. Chilling Water's cool, I guess. Flower Trick is really funny. Always critting is nice for opposing setup. Trailblaze is interesting. Um, I don't think that's too good though because you're already fast enough. I think I'll get taunt, right? Yeah, taunt sucker, play rough. So it's pretty solid. It's not too strong. 110 is, but 110 is getting the job done, right? If you have 110 attack, you're putting in work. That's like 10 points less than Weeball, which I guess is like a lot actually. But yeah, I picked this guy up next. Gives me U-turn again. It gives me momentum to bring in Mugi and Latias and those guys. But I kind of have a problem now. Um, I picked these four, and I'm pretty happy with these four. But I'm like, dude, I like can't really break steals. And breaking steals feels pretty important with Mugi and Latias together, since this guy has to run like Focus Blast or Aura Sphere, and this guy has to run Mystical Fire and make a Mega Setup and Aura Sphere, and they'd rather not need to break steals. So then my next pick, shoot, where is it? That's right, 5 bajillion picks go by because I'm last. And so my next pick, I pick up a Numon 2. Um, I pick up Ceruledge, which is cool. I like Ceruledge a lot. Like 12-year-old me would have gone bananas if this guy came out when I was 12. Look how cool he is. Um, this guy's Terrasilize is really sick too, which is the main thing I picked it for. I think Terrasilize with Ceruledge Flash Fire is really strong. It gives me another oh, what's the word? Fire resistance or immunity, which is cool. Fire is like not really a problem for my team. You're gonna see ground is a little bit of an issue, but it's really not that big of a deal, right? These three guys kind of eating up ground attacks all day. Weak armor is pretty cool too. Gives me a little bit of threatening. Like I can threaten people, so like not really want to do too much. 75, 80 bulk is pretty solid. You're getting the job done. You're taking a few hits, and 100 speed def is really nice. 85 speed is good breaking speed. That's all you need really to break a bunch of steals defensively at least. I don't even know what type Bitterblade is. It is fire type, so this is a pretty cool ability, or not ability, move. It gives you 50% of your health back, which is really sick. Like his guy's move set is really good actually. Like it's quite diverse. You can run like a bulky tauntish set. Um, if you Terrasilize, you can go like any type weak to fire. Like you can go some sort of bug set. Like bug, if you go bug, for whatever reason, like to I don't know, what would you go bug for? I don't know, like resisting some sort of I don't know fighting attack or something. You can like keep your fighting resist, and basically anything weak to fire, you can just eat up those fire attacks as a bug type, and then you just kind of don't have that weakness, right? Or like steel, right? Very similar to Latias with running steel, except he's not weak to ground. Oh, bug, you want to be weak to ground and want to be weak to fire. That's why. So Destiny Bond's cool. Like it has a lot of cool. It's mainly a physical attacker. It doesn't do too much outside of that. Like he should have break steals or at least threaten steals. 125 is super strong. At +2, you're kind of getting blown back. Bulk up, bitter blade lets you recover stuff. Clear smog is really cool. Close combat's awesome. Destiny Bond's great. Disable's cool for utility. I even have flare blitz if I want to like just blow something up. Iron Head's nice for steals. Also poison jab. I know that. Shadow Sneak for priority to be the guy's faster than you. So this is a pretty cool mod. I like this guy a lot, and I sniped the guy that was after me with this actually, which is quite sad. I didn't mean to do that, but I did it. And so that's cool. It gives me my fire type, so I have the fire, grass, water thing, which doesn't matter too much, but I have it. And the next thing I'm looking for is I need a fighting type, because I do still want to like have more options to break steals. Like I don't really want to need to bring Ceruledge as cool as he is. I think he's gonna be really strong, by the way. Like I like Ceruledge a lot. And so the next two picks go, and I get like picks back to back. We still are a little ground weak, and I guess we're a little fairy weak, but it doesn't really matter because I add another fairy weakness. And I pick Galarian Zapdos. So this is pretty cool. It gives me 100 speeds here, which I don't have. Slots right between Latias, Ceruledge, and Rotom, because Rotom's like the same speed as Ceruledge, but they're just using they're the same speed tier, but I don't mind that because I'm not running max. Like I'm not running a lot of speed in Rotom Wash anyway. Whereas Ceruledge, I'll probably be investing close to max every game. Well, this guy fits right between these two, so I like that a lot. This guy, like, I feel like he has very little switch-ins, like a normal. Like the stab close combat stab Brave Bird is like hard to switch in no matter what. Again, it has U-turn to kind of get in these other guys, especially Cerulege. Now that I can just run Banded Cerulege and kind of blow something up. U-turn's pretty nice. Or I think I just literally just said U-turn. I'm stupid. Tailwind's cool. Taunt's cool. It doesn't need to run Bandit or Scarf, but it works really well with those two. You kind of have to respect those two sets no matter what. Agility gives me a bit of setup potential. Defiance, a nice ability, kind of like threatening, intimidate, all that stuff. 125 attack, again, pretty strong. Terra, I don't really know what it would do with Terra specifically. It would have to be kind of a X Terra to live Moonblaster type of thing. But yeah, I like this pick a lot. I like this guy. No removal or whatever, but it's cool. He gets the job done. He just be hitting things, right? He just be hitting things. Which is what I wanted him for, specifically steals, because that feels like it opens up Latios and Mugi a lot more. Cerulege and Zapdos are in the back, ready to blow up your guys. So I was quite happy with that pick. 5 bajillion picks go by, and I'm kind of lost at this point. I know I'm a little ground weak, which we end up staying a little ground weak at the end. Oh shoot, that's right. All right, so the next pick I make, I start choking a little bit because we're still kind of fairy weak a little bit. And we like don't have that much removal. I lied. We don't have that much rocks. Specifically, we have 0 rocks. We have 2 spike setters with 0 rocks. And so I'm looking to add another steel type on, because all the poisons or grounded poisons and stuff to resist fairies. Because I forgot I need that. They were like all gone. All the ones that I wanted at least. Like they're all bad that was left except Clodsire. And I was gonna pick Clodsire because I think Clodsire is that guy. Like Clodsire is gonna be really good. Like I think if he doesn't stay OU, he's gonna be Ubers by technicality. But he's gonna be the same as like Quagsire, who's like the bottom tier, but he's used everywhere because he's really good. And I like Clodsire a lot. So I didn't pick Clodsire though because I don't know. I just wasn't feeling it. I picked Excadrill. Which kind of sucks. I didn't super love this pick, but it gave me Rapid Spin and Stealth Rocks. Not a lot of guys do this. It gives you another way to break steals. Makes me a little ground weak, but it's fine. It allows me to take a lot of hits that I normally can't be taken. So I'm pretty chill with this pick. It's a little tough to work around, but it's all right. The thing I didn't really like was the speed. 135 attack is amazing though. Like this is always gonna be such a good mon. Like Excadrill will always be good, right? But let me tell you something right now. Should I do transaction? I transaction this guy because as soon as I pick him, I get a nice DM from a friend, Andy, who's in the same tier as me, and he pulls up into my DMs and he says, "Are you interested in trading Excadrill for Iron Treads?" And I was like, "What?" I was like, why? Isn't like Iron Treads better? Like I don't really know what's going on, but I'm like pretty sure Iron Treads is just better, right? At least a little bit. Like it's not Mold Breaker good, since it's locked into that other ability. So like Excadrill has more utility and stuff. But I was like, I think I like Iron Treads better on this team. I would have picked it if it wasn't like gone, because this guy is. And I was confused. I was like, why does he want it? So I just started asking. I was like, why do you want this guy? Like, what does he do? Like, what am I missing? I was like, they're like the same guy. But I get a point back, which is nice. Like, I would get an extra point. And so he's like, they do different things. Iron Treads is a bit defensive for my team. Which I think is, I don't, maybe I'm tripping, but I feel like Excadrill is more defensive. Because you lose momentum switching to this guy. Like, you lose momentum with a lot of the moves. Iron Treads, which I did end up accepting the trade for, is faster than all base 100, which is already amazing, because I don't have to deal with like speed tying or any of that trash, and it's faster than Garchomp, which is even nicer. Because Garchomp's like what 133, right? You can have to run Timid, but you're like way faster than 133. It's like the same ability. Quark Drive is like nice because you can run Booster Energy and then you threaten all terrain teams and you have Stab Earthquake in the back. It's much weaker. But not that much weaker, but its bulk is like significantly better. Its bulk and speed is significantly better, at least in the defenses. And I primarily invest in the defenses before HP, like a normal person. And then I was like, I thought this guy is better for offensive teams, right? Because you have Volt Switch. And so Volt Switch is like, you don't really need to lose too much momentum or make a hard read. You can just Volt Switch. and then other ground types are just scared of getting hit up by Ice Spinner or something, right? Like if you bring in your Garchomp on this guy, I don't even need to predict. I can Volt Switch, and then I can just Ice Spinner the next move. Um, and so I'm pretty happy with this. I like Iron Treads a lot. I haven't used him on the ladder yet because I just haven't built a team with him on. But fighting against him is kind of a problem always, right? Like it's pretty tough. Stab Steel is good, Stab Ground. So I'm pretty happy with this. It is a bit stronger against Earthquake as well. If I do need to eat one, I can go ahead and just take an Earthquake. This guy terrestrializing into, I guess Excadrill would also terrestrialize into Pure Ground, but I like terrestrializing this guy into Pure Ground. I like the idea of it. Every time I fight against it, I think Ground is the most annoying to face. Yeah, so that was the next pick we made, and everything. I ended up with 10 Mons. Usually, like, you can get like 12, and since you have 140 points or whatever, you can get a lot. But I think it's just better to get 10 that you're going to use for real, and then not worry about the rest of them. But that's just like an opinion thing. So I draft Drill, which ends up just becoming the other guy. And then 5 million picks. Actually, no, don't 5 million picks don't go by. It goes to the Wheel, who ended up picking Clodsire, which is a great pick, and Screamtail. I feel like I'm breaking this guy's team too, Bubba's team. Oh, wow, by the way, I sniped him like 4 times, and it was his birthday. I was like very nefarious this draft on accident. Anyway, the next pick I got, I didn't really know what to do, but I had an idea, and this idea was kind of like, I'm like really good if this idea worked out. But I ended up picking Ninetales Alola, who I ended up dropping. Spoiler, because I was thinking like, dude, these two guys under screens, like all these guys under screens, is gonna go crazy. But then I DM'd a friend, and he was like, dude, you don't need that, right? Like these guys are setting up fine no matter what. This guy is just adding you chip, and I was like, you're right for that. And I just have one rocker, guys. And so like this spot was more valuable as a rocker, but it would have been cool to have as a hail thing. And so I dropped this guy in Grace 2, and I ended up picking Porygon 2. And this is I love Porygon. I don't have any guys that like really abuse Trick Room except Moogie, which is nice. Like that's a big threat. But these 3 abilities are all really good. Terrasilize is interesting with this type. I think I heard somewhere that Ghost is no longer like weak to Ghost, but I don't know if that's true or not. Has a pretty solid move pool. Magikarp's cool. Teleport is really what it's used for, right? Trick Room, Teleport. Teleport gets in Ceruledge, Zapdos, any of the other guys I want, and he eats like everything. Like this guy might be the bulkiest thing to ever exist, other than Tinglu. Tinglu's broken. Like they were really in their bag when they made Tinglu. When they made all the Chinese Pokemon, they made them like super super strong. But yeah, this guy's really solid. I like this guy a lot. Yeah, I've used this guy before in Ubers, and he's eating things. He doesn't like super fit on the team, but I did need a normal anyway because Ghost seemed like a big problem. And since I have a fast dark, if I have a fast dark, I go for a really bulky normal because I think those two work together pretty well in stopping Ghost types. So next pick goes around, and I already know in my head I'm just gonna drop this Ninetales. So like everything after that point was all solidified, and I'm like, all right, I need a new rocker because I only have one, and I finished with 2 rockers only, which is annoying but not too big of a deal. And I go ahead and pick up another one of the Iron Mons, Iron Thorns, which it makes me again a little bit weaker to rock or to ground. But Latias, Rotom, Meowscarada are like they be eating up ground moves, and I pick up one more resistance, so we stay a little bit ground weak. But at the end of the day, it doesn't bother me too much. This guy is very strong. He'd be blowing things up. Rock is pretty cool. Terrasilize is good with this guy too. Like Terrasilize flying. Like Terrasilize can really patch up a big weakness on your team because you're always kind of your opponent could overbring Earthquake on stuff, and then you Terrasilize flying, and then what are they gonna do? You know. So this guy's really good. It pretty much is the same thing as Tyranitar, except it's not a dark type. It's an electric type this time, which makes you just a little bit weaker to ground, which you already were weak to, and not weaker to fighting. So that's kind of what take that as you will. I think Earthquake is better than like close combat overall, but it gives me a rock setter, which is nice. I don't think I get Volt Switch, but if I did, it'd be broken. Oh my gosh, I do get Volt Switch. So everything has momentum on my team, like for real. The only thing is I don't have momentum is Sarah Ledge. So everything kind of be moving around on my team. And Porygon is negative momentum. Yeah, so all my guys be moving. Dragon Dance is pretty strong. After +1, this guy will still be shooing pretty quickly. Like he might be outspeeding most guys. After a +1 attack or a +1 speed, 135 is huge. That's very big damage or very big attack. Yeah, dang. Actually, this is a pretty cool mod. I like this guy a lot, actually. Very simple moveset. It's pretty much just Excadrill, except you're 2 times weak to Earthquake and not 2 times weak to Fighting. So, very simple guy. I'm excited to use him for. It does the same thing too, kind of, because. Actually, it doesn't really. I was gonna say this guy can. I guess he can threaten ground types, but like not as well as Iron Treads can. But yeah, this guy will get me good momentum. Like you'll be switching in a resist to these two. Like Rock is a really good offensive typing. Like, you can switch in your steel to this guy, but you're kind of worried about like getting messed up. So I like this pick a lot. A little ground weak, but it's fine. I'll accept that weakness. And then the next pick I go ahead and grab, which is my last pick. I'm pretty sure, right? Oh wait, I'm stupid. I scrolled past it. I don't know how to spell it. I would just say it, but I would just okay. I pick Toedscruel, which is cool. This ability is like real. Like this ability big time slept on, and it gives me a pretty solid spit death wall and a grass type. Which is nice. A grass type is cool for the ground resist. And this guy is crazy. So Mycelium Might, status moves get negative priority, but they just ignore abilities. They just be ignoring everything. So like you can be sporing stuff that you shouldn't spore. Like Golden Go, that guy gets spored, even though he shouldn't. He gets taunted. It gives me a Toxic and a Spike setter and another Trick Room setter that I didn't realize. Taunt is pretty fast as well. 100 base speed is like nothing to sneeze at for a defensive mod. It gives me another Rapid Spinner. Yeah, very simple guy actually. Not too much to talk about here. Mirror Coat, Trick Room, and then what was that move? Grassy Terrain can be nice. That could be funny. Like to patch up that ground weakness for a few turns. So yeah, this is the final guy on the team. He's like, I'm excited to use this guy actually. Out of all the guys, I think I'm most excited to use. I don't know who I'm most excited to use. I think Moogie, like, obviously is like very exciting to use, but I think maybe like Iron Thorns is like really exciting, and Toedscruel is super. I'm excited to use this guy. Like, you can cook up some sick stuff with this. Reflect type's cool. You can terrestrialize into cool stuff too, but yeah, that's gonna be it for me. It's another grass type, but like as I said, we're like kind of eating up fire type attacks, right? And fire types can't really like mess up this team too badly without really really strong coverage. But yeah, that's gonna be it. I think that's it. That's all I got. That is the team. The week starts like immediately, which means we have like 1.5 weeks to do the first game. But yeah, that is gonna be all I have for today. Goodbye. God bless and have a great day.